How you doing, guys? Welcome to the channel. This video is going to be about what's the best firearm for home defense. So obviously there's about 3 or 4 options. There's going to be a handgun, a rifle, a shotgun, and then other variants of that, so like an SBR, a short-barreled rifle. At the end, there's a story, an interview actually, that I want to share. It's in Hebrew. It's an Israeli man who basically fought off about a dozen or 2 terrorists inside of his house with just a Glock 19. And a lot of things he describes in the interview fit well with the reasons why I say you should have a handgun, ideally for home defense, and it's better than other options you have. Okay, let's get into it. Number 1, I think accessibility is key. So you can have a rifle or a shotgun, that's nice, but are you going to be carrying a rifle or a shotgun around your house? Are you going to have a rifle or a shotgun just like leaning up against your bed? Especially for us who have small kids, it's not an option just to have rifles or shotguns laying around. Having a handgun right next to the bed or right next to the, in a safe right next to on your night table or underneath your mattress is a viable option. And if someone's coming into your house, you don't want to have to go somewhere, go to your safe, across the room or in another room, unlock your safe. That's time consuming. If you just go grab your handgun, which is in your night table or in a little quick open safe, it saves you seconds, saves you maybe a minute. And that minute is really important if someone's actually coming up the stairs or in your house right now. Number 2, and I think this is actually the most important reason, but I put it as number 2 just because, is maneuverability. So if you're moving around a house, the easiest thing to have when you're moving around a house, going around corners or shooting from around corners, shooting around cover, is a little teeny handgun. A rifle is a little bit more cumbersome. A shotgun is a lot more cumbersome because they're long. But going around corners, shooting from around corners, going into rooms, clearing rooms, is a lot easier with a handgun. The main reason why people like rifles is because it lets you shoot at range. That's the main reason. Inside a house, the range of a rifle doesn't really matter as long as you know how to use a handgun. If you can shoot a handgun decently, you can shoot within 20 feet without a lot of aiming or no aiming at all. And that takes away the main edge a rifle has over a handgun. But the maneuverability, you definitely have more maneuverability if you just have a handgun as opposed to a rifle or a shotgun. Number 3, it's not spoken about that much, is training. For us who don't have farms or a lot of land, we have to go to an indoor range. Indoor ranges, a lot of them don't have places to shoot rifles, so all you can really do consistently is shoot a handgun. Additionally, people who conceal carry, so yeah, you're already carrying a handgun outside the house. Do you really feel that you're trained enough on your concealed carry handgun that now you can move to another weapon space, you can move to another weapon system? If you have enough time to train on both, that's nice, but a lot of people, they don't have that much time to train. And if you're already concealed carrying and you don't feel that you have enough time to really train and get comfortable with your concealed carry gun, why go to a new weapon system and be bad at 2 weapons? Just train on one, be proficient and comfortable with one. That's probably the better thing to do. Next reason I think is magazine capacity. This is more against shotguns. There's limited capacity. If you have a regular shotgun, maybe you can only fit 5 or 6 rounds in there. Full size or a compact handgun, you can easily get 15, 17, 21 rounds, even without the aftermarket extendos. You can get 15 rounds or 17 rounds, 21 rounds is a nice capacity. And carrying extra mags, as opposed to a rifle where the magazines are kind of large, you can just fit an extra magazine in your holster. You can fit an extra magazine, just throw it into your pants pocket, and now you have an extra magazine. If 15 rounds or 21 rounds is not enough, okay, pull that extender out of your pocket, and now you have another 15 to 20 or 30. Okay, so those are the main reasons. I didn't really touch on SBRs, short-barreled rifles. True, I think a short-barreled rifle is a close second. Sometimes maybe even a first. But a lot of us, including myself, I don't have a short-barreled rifle. I don't have an unlimited amount of money to spend on guns. They're kind of annoying to get an SBR. I already have a rifle, I already have a handgun, I already have a shotgun, I already have numerous of those guns. Then to get an SBR, especially in the oppressive states of Maryland, it's even harder to get an SBR. So I kind of left that out. But if you have an SBR, I think an SBR is also a good option. It's maneuverable. The one thing I think the handgun is easier for is you can train better. You can train easier and cheaper with a handgun. Handgun rounds are just cheaper with a rifle. But if you have the money to train, I think an SBR is a close second after a handgun. So now it's story time. I'm going to post links below in the description box with the 2 interviews I found of this person. The first one was with a major news agency in in Israel. The interview's in Hebrew. The second one is also in Hebrew, but it's with the official YouTube channel of Kibbutz Nir Oz. That's why I think this story is authenticated, because he's actually being interviewed by one of his neighbors in the kibbutz, and he says very interesting things. So this guy, they call him Miki. He's, I guess, ex-military, well, everyone ex-military, but I think he was kind of higher up, either in the police or military. He was in some special unit. He was retired. He was actually he said he was like a gardener in the kibbutz. So that was his day job. He was just a gardener. He had a Glock 19, and according to the second interview, he had 7 extra Glock 19 magazines. So about 100 rounds, give or take. And he describes where at least a dozen or two dozen terrorists, not all at the same time, but in different groups and different waves, tried to basically invade his house with his wife and one of his daughters inside the house. He describes that he got into very close combat incidents of shootings with them, shot them from just a few feet away, from around corners. He describes the maneuverability of his handgun and how he was just able to have short little bursts, bam, 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 shooting in the face, shooting in the chest, even against people with body armor because he was so close and he had that handgun. I can always say, yeah, I know I'm right, and we can argue all day, but this guy, Miki, if you believe the story, and I think it is authentic, I think he proves that the reasons that we have, the reasons that we listed above are true reasons. He was able to count about 12 dead bodies in his house, not him, not his family, but the terrorists in his house. They all had AK-47s or rifles. One of them even had an RPG and the person was trying to threaten him. They actually wanted to capture him alive. That's part of how he was able to survive. And he even describes this incident where a terrorist in English was talking to him and saying, if you don't come out of your safe room and basically stop shooting at us, I'm going to shoot this RPG into your safe room and blow up the door. And he was able to say, okay, I'll come out. In the last second, because he had a little handgun, he was able to pop around the corner and take the guy's legs out because the guy had a body armor. So he shot him in the legs, and the guy wasn't able to get an RPG round off. So if you ever imagine guys with AKs, with masks, guys with RPGs coming to your house, and you say, how could you fight off with a handgun? Well, this guy did it. He just had a Glock 19, 7 handguns, about 100 rounds, and he was able to do it. So obviously, it's not just about your skill. You also have to pray. It's up to higher powers if you're going to survive. Even this guy, Miki, he got shot. He got a little injured from shrapnel, from grenades. But it just proves the point that a handgun, if you're proficient, this guy was obviously very proficient with his handgun. If he was proficient, if you are proficient, you can definitely do a lot of damage inside of a building with a handgun. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, share the channel, share the video. We're going to try to make more videos of this type of style. And if you like it, just show us some love in the comments. Thank you.